Hi, this is Heike Zero from Modular Inventory, and this vlog is for the post create and start WebLogic container in 5 easy steps. So let us walk through the steps. These are the summary of steps that we're going to perform in this vlog, which is also there in the post. So the first step would be logging into the Oracle Container Registry using our Docker CLI. Okay, so let us do some prerequisite validation before performing our steps, which is also mentioned in the document. So first we have to verify the Docker is installed and set up correctly. Let me say Docker version. As you could say that I'm using 18.06 container engine Docker version, and as I have also mentioned that there is a command that you could quickly run which is docker container run, and you can initiate a small lightweight container called hello world. Docker container in hello world, which means that hello from Docker message is coming. So it's a very pretty simple container. So if you are getting a similar reply what you are seeing here, I think you will be good. So I'm using Docker for Mac. It's my Mac PC. So if you are using Docker for Windows, I mean the outputs may slightly change, but it would mostly be the same. So this is our first prerequisite. The second one is setting up the user account in Oracle. So in case if you have not already have an Oracle account created, there is a link I have highlighted here. You can just directly go and you can just fill all these details and you can get your account created. Since I have already have my account for I don't know, multiple years, so I'm just gonna go with the same ID. So let's go to the steps now. So the first step is logging into the container registry using a Docker CLI. So Docker login is the command that we are going to use. So for those who know Docker, for I mean who have a little expertise or have more expertise in Docker, they might be really familiar with this Docker login command. So you might be frequently using this to log into hub.docker.com, an inventory of Docker. Uh, but we will not use any URL. But here we are going to use Docker login followed by containerregistry.oracle.com, which means that we are mentioning a remote repository, okay, not a hub.docker.com, which is an inbuilt or a default repository of Docker. So Docker login containerregistry.oracle.com, I'm just hitting it, and since I have my credentials already entered in, it's trying to authenticate with the existing credentials. um, let's give it a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's go back and see what is our next step, which is we have to visit the container registry browser, I mean in the browser, and we have to accept the license. So if you have prior experience in WebLogic, or if you have ever downloaded Java or any Oracle product, you might have really come across this strange behavior of Oracle, which is accepting the license, and you have to just do the single sign-on, so which is very basic. So we're gonna do the same. Okay, let's go back to the terminal. So Docker login command is succeeded, and you're able to see that I have successfully logged into container registry.oracle.com, which is our remote repository. Let's resume to the second step, which is visiting the container registry in the browser and accepting the license, since there is no way that we would be able to do it with Docker CLI itself. So there is the only way is we have to log in via browser. So this is a URL which is in the post also. You can just click here, it will directly lead you there. Now just go and click on sign in. It's taking a little time. So we would be prompted for the username and password. This is a username and password that we have created in the prerequisite section. So the username is live.com. And password, what is my password? Okay, I'm just entering. Gotcha. Okay, I have logged in. I have even subcategorized into some substeps like point your browser to the container registry URL. On the top right corner, you will have an option to sign in. Click that, then choose the container you are going to pull. So we are at the third stage. So browse containers. So these are the containers that we have. We have successfully logged in. You are able to see here. So here I'm going to choose the repository that I want, which is middleware. I'm going with middleware, and WebLogic is the container that we are going to do. Since I have already accepted the license in this green tick mark which is shown here, which indicates that I have accepted the license on 10/28/2018. It is gonna stay for some more time, so I cannot really go and re-accept the license. So let's go with something else. I would just to show that how it really looks like. Oracle HTTP server. Let's go with WebTire. I'm gonna click on this continue. Once you click on it, you would be presented with this Oracle standard terms and restrictions. A lot of legal things. Generally, I do accept. I never read it, so accept. Go ahead and once you have accepted, you would be able to see that the mark has turned into green, which means that you have accepted the license. So this is a quick and easiest way to accept anything. I mean any container. So since WebLogic is also already accepted, I wouldn't be having any issue. So I hope now you are clear, like with the second step, which is containing container registry accepting the license. So having said that, let's go to this third step, which is creating a domain.properties file with admin server username and password. So for any WebLogic domain admin server, we have to mention the domain level username and password while we are creating a domain or starting the admin server. So which is pretty much very basic for WebLogic user, they might be knowing. So we are going to create a file called domain.properties in some directory called a workspace, and we are going to create that directory also. And if you look at this syntax, which is username equal to WebLogic, password equal to WebLogic1, which is a similar syntax that we follow for boot.properties also. So I hope you are well aware with boot.properties if you have had a little hands-on with WebLogic 11G or 12G or even 10 or 9. So these are the files. This is a security file that we use to hard code the username and password. So let's do this. In the terminal, I have a Mac. I'm gonna go to, I have a directory AppStacker. This is my Docker container workspace. I mean, if it is Windows Explorer, you can just go and create in whichever the section, you can create a new directory. So I'm gonna create a new directory, Oracle WebLogic. I have just did it. Let me go into the directory, and I'm gonna create a new file called domain.properties, and I'm gonna hit enter the username equal to WebLogic and the password equal to WebLogic1, which is the simple and most widely used password, or as I think so. So now we have a file domain.properties and the directory apps docker oracle WebLogic. So try not to keep any other files in this here for now. So you would really gonna use this directory for various purposes. Once you have created the container, I will take you to there. So let's stick to the steps. Now we have created a domain.properties and we have encoded, I mean we have just keyed in the username and password of the admin server, or the wannabe username or the password. And the fourth step, or the critical step, is to start the WebLogic container. Yes, we have come to this point where we have to start the WebLogic container. And so this is a command that we are gonna use. Let me copy it and put it into some notepad like Sublime, and I will explain what each command, what each line means. So docker container run is a command. Maybe I think I would go to this post. I have explained the same here. So okay, I think it is. You will not be able to see the command there. So let me explain here. So I have given the theoretical explanation in this post as well. You can just go and refer, just in case if you're not able to follow, and or if I have missed anything, you can just read down. So Docker container run is a typical Docker run command for those who have Docker experience. They know it. It's a Docker container run or Docker run is a command which we use to start the container for the first time. So and initiate the container, we can call it whatever we want. So once this container, first time we have started the container using Docker container run, next time onwards you would be able to use the Docker container start command by mentioning the container name. So I don't want to confuse you and put so much of information in your head now, so I'm just keeping it simple. So Docker container run is a command, it's a syntax, and hyphen D is a detach. Detach in the sense section, it is like making the container run in the background. If you are not mentioning the hyphen D, you would be, it is running in the foreground. You would have to, leave a complete terminal or your command prompt for it. You cannot even control C or come out of it. So I would say, I mean, it is just a background process. So run it as a background process. So it is a detach. And hyphen P is a port forwarding. So I'm doing a two port forwarding here. Two port forwarding. The first one is 7001 to 7000. So let me put what is 7000 and 7001 here. So this port forwarding, how it works. So this 7000 here that you are seeing, all the time the syntax is like this: the host OS port, the container port, the colon container port, which means the container port 7001 will be forwarded into the host OS 7000, which means the container WebLogic container 7001 is forwarded to 7000 in my local host OS. Host OS is Mac in my case. You could be using any Mac for Windows or anything. So if you're using Mac for Windows, it is Windows in your case. So the same applies here. So I'm just redirecting 9002 container port to my Mac 9001, which is my host OS port. And the another flag or the attribute that we are argument we are giving is IT. So it is a combination of two things. One is, I mean, it generally goes together. I is interactive, which means that it will later help you to take SSH into the container very easily. And T is allocate a terminal ID, I mean terminal or TTY ID we would say. So these TTY ID and interactive terminal, I mean this would enable our container to act like a typical VM. We can just SSH to it and do all the stuff we want later, okay, without much hurdles later on. So the next one is hyphen hyphen name, which is I'm just naming my container as WLS node 01. And the last one is hyphen V. Hyphen V is a volume. I am just gonna mount uh, what I'm exactly doing. This dollar $pwd is as let me show you what is dollar $pw here. It is a basic terminal variable which will always point to my current directory at Docker Oracle WebLogic. So if I go to temp and execute pwd, it will show me at temp. So it is just an environment variable, you can call it as, okay. So I'm just mentioning my current directory. I'm just marking my current directory, which is our apps Docker Oracle WebLogic, the directory which has domain.properties file. I'm repeating, the directory which has domain.properties file, which is with the username and password. The directory, we are mounting it in the name of U01 Oracle properties into the container. So once the container is created, this directory U01 Oracle.properties would be created. So as a network mount, so whatever the files that you put into apps Docker Oracle WebLogic, it will be reflected into U01 Oracle properties within the container. In case if you wanna copy any files between the host OS and the container, you can simply go ahead and copy it to this apps docker Oracle WebLogic, and it would be available in U01 Oracle properties inside the container. So which is really a good feature. So I would recommend you using it. So now we can either type it like this, we can just put the fully qualified directory name, or we can go with the environment variable $pwd. So maybe I will go with, let me, let us not confuse, right? I will edit it, I will put the current directory name there, so don't worry. So yeah, I'll just keep it like this so that it will make sense. Now the last part is the container name. Okay, so the container name here is the fully, since it is a remote image container, so I just put I would have to put the remote URL followed by where it exactly resides. So in case if you are just mentioning let's say nginx, if the image is not found, it will directly go and check in the docker.com, which is a container inventory of Docker. So in our case, we have to explicitly mention like where this image is there. So we have to give the full URL container registry.oracle.com middleware/weblogic. So this is the explanation for the command that we are gonna use, and I hope you were able to follow me as I was explaining. Now I'm gonna execute the command, paste it. Yes, it says unable to find images locally, so it is going to try connecting to this container registry.oracle.com with logic. And since we haven't mentioned any tag, which is the version tag, it will by default take the latest. So as you are able to see that it is trying to pull uh, the files, the image from online. So meanwhile, let us use this time for doing something. I'm gonna open a new terminal. So in case if you are new to Docker, there are commands that I can show you, like Docker info. It will give what is your the information that your what is the Docker's container engine version and all the information that you can find it here. And there is a command called docker container list, which will show the list of containers which is currently running. And docker container -a list-a command will give you the list of containers which has already ran, exited, or anything. It will give you the clear picture of what are the containers which has ran in the past also. So even if it has been exited or not currently running, you would be able to list it with docker container list-a. And there are commands, performance-based commands like docker ps, which you could, if you are, let's say, running any container, you would be able to do it. Since we have okay, let me show you like the images, which is as I was saying earlier. So in this section that you are seeing, unable to find the image locally, which means that where is the image? Okay, what are the locally available images? In order to see it, you can use the command docker images. So this command will show you what are the images I have downloaded and what is the sizes and everything. So I have Redis, BusyBox, Node, Tomcat, Alpine, and all this stuff. So I can just start the containers. So let's start. Maybe I will try to start a container for you and show you how it looks like. Docker container run. Let me, I think I have a ready-made command. Okay, so I haven't. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna start the Tomcat container, Docker container run IT name Tomcat 01, and okay, Tomcat is the container name. Did I miss anything? No. Docker container run IT name. I don't need any volume things, so I would be fine. Yes, so I have initiated Docker container run IT. So as I was telling you earlier, now you can able to see that okay, the container has started in foreground. Okay, I would like to re-highlight. It is a foreground process. Okay, I cannot do anything. If I just Control C, this container would get lost. So we should not do it. That's the reason that we have used hyphen D, which is detach. So now let us do it like detach. So okay, the container is already available, so we have to remove the container first. Docker container list type list. So you cannot see it here since the container has exited. Docker container list hyphen A. So you are able to see this. What is the command it ran and what is the names? Tomcat01. So Docker rm Tomcat01. So I have just removed it. So if you have wondered what are these names, okay, since I have mentioned Tomcat1, this name was taken in most of the cases that the Docker will automatically allocate names like Seren Franklin, or so much of different weird names I would call it as. So these are all the famous hackers and computer scientist names, which is automatically allocated by Docker for the unnamed Docker containers. If you haven't named it, any one of the names will be taken for this container. So don't get um, too much afraid. I mean, wonder about how these names are working and everything. So now let us start the container once again in detach mode. Yeah, we just mentioned that hyphen D. Yeah, you see this. This is a Docker container image ID, and we have an image name also Tomcat01. Now we can list Docker container list. You see it here. The names is Tomcat01 and the container is running, and we can just say Docker PS. It will list what are the containers running. So you can also say Docker top, Docker top, and you have to mention the container name. Yeah, you can see Tomcat01. So these are the processes which are running currently in that container. So we can see Docker PS Tomcat01. Sorry. So you have to just mention the little more things. So so these are the containers. So I don't want to stuff more, and it is taking still a lot of time. Once this container is started, I mean we are at the start WebLogic container at the fourth stage. Once the container is started, we can go ahead and start verifying, accessing the WebLogic console, login to validate. The port number that we have to use is 9001. That is the administration port that we have defined here, as you could see. 9001 is the host OS, which is Mac port, and 9002 is the container port. So I would have to use HTTP localhost 9001 slash console to get a console. So bear with me, this is my internet. So I'm gonna pause this video for a few minutes. Let's see. Let's uh, get back together. Hi, welcome back. We have downloaded the image successfully. So we ran the command docker container run, and with the port forwarding, and we named the WebLogic node as WLS node 01, and we mounted the current working directory, which is apps docker oracle WebLogic, and we try to mount that volume in the name of u01 slash oracle slash properties within the container. What happened is that you can see that the Mac OS is restricting the share of this path, which is apps docker oracle WebLogic. So the Docker is saying that this mounts is denied. So we have to first share this path in Docker preferences. So the way is actually mentioned here. So we are gonna do exactly the same as it instructed. So let's go to Docker. There is an icon here, and I'm clicking on preferences. In file sharings, I'm gonna say I'm gonna find the Okay, it's here. Apps. I'm gonna find the directory graphically. Docker Oracle WebLogic. Yes. So I have added, as you could see, that I have added an entry docs apps Docker Oracle WebLogic. Sorry for that. So excuse me. So we did it, and let us apply this and restart. Okay, the export path is not available in WebLogic, so let's remove this one and or add once again. Let's add this path, or maybe we will apps Docker Oracle WebLogic. Yes, we did it. Yeah, and apply and restart. Docker is starting, so apps Docker Oracle WebLogic is shared. So what we actually did is that we were not able to do the mounting, the volume mounting, which is sharing the directory between the host OS and the container, but we were not able to do it because this directory apps Docker Oracle WebLogic, the directory which contains domain.properties, was not shared in terms of OS X, so we had to manually add it into Docker by coming here and clicking on preferences and then file sharing. So we just added it, and the Docker, we just applied and restarted. Now the Docker is running. Now let's go back to the terminal. Yeah, the changes are applied. So let's go back here. Now let's quickly see whether the images are downloaded. As you could see here, the images is downloaded. So next time when we are starting the container, we wouldn't have to wait for this long, and you can see that the size is 1.14 GB, which is something that I haven't expected, in fact. So let's do this. Now we have the images, and before that, let's see the container. If it is running, it will not. Container list -a. You can see that it is created. The WLS node 01 is created. Okay, so just to keep things simple, I'm gonna just remove it. So the command is docker container, no, docker rm WLS node 01. Yeah, so we have removed it. We can check, verify it. Container list -a. You can see that the container WLS node 01 is gone. So it's WLS node 01 is not here in the name. So now we have successfully removed the container. Let's reissue the same command that we have given, which is docker container run d $pwd. Make sure that we are in apps Docker Oracle WebLogic, the directory which we want to mount, which we have added into preferences. Let's hit enter. Okay, the path apps Docker Oracle WebLogic is non-known to Docker. Okay, it still says the same. I don't know why. Let's go and see. Okay, we just did this. Apply changes. Some changes have been applied. Okay, I think it has not properly applied, and it is applied, and now it is getting restarted once again. Let's give it a few seconds so we are able to see it here. Oracle WebLogic, yes. So the Docker is starting. Excuse me. So the Docker is starting. Meanwhile, let's go to the post and see what we quickly did. And yeah, so these are the steps that we have so far did. First, we'll have logged into the container registry using a Docker CLI using the Docker login command. The second one is we went to the container registry URL in the browser, and we have accepted the license in the browser. So these are all the sub steps that we did. And the third one is we created a domain.properties file in the directory apps Docker Oracle WebLogic. It can be anything as you wish. So it is a kind of workspace. So we are going to keep this directory as a shared directory between the host OS and the container. So this volume or this directory is going to be mounted into inside the container in the name of u01/oracle/properties, and that's what we did. And start the WebLogic container. Here Docker container run, we executed this command and it has downloaded the image. I should have to add another step here maybe, so to add Docker file sharing for Mac OS. So I'm gonna just give it a note here, so I think it would be clear. Now let's run it. Error response. Okay, the WLS node is already used by the container. I think the name is already reserved, so let's quickly see container list -a. Yeah, it's created, so we have to remove it. Docker rm WLS node 01. Yes, we did it. Now Docker container list-a, just verifying it's removed. Yes. Now let's start the container run once again. Container run command, same name. There we go. We have started the WLS node 01 and the WebLogic container is started. If everything went well, we should be able to see the container in Docker container list output. Yes, we are able to see, and the port forwarding information is also right here. 7000 is our localhost and 7001 is the container port number. 9001 is our localhost Mac, and 9002 is the container. Now let's check the logs. Docker logs WLS node 01. Yes, it is starting. As you could see that the name of the domain is base domain. It is a very simple minimal domain, and it is gonna use the username and password in case if the bounties have not worked properly. We would have get some error in this here Docker logs when we are issuing the Docker logs command. Now let us check the Docker ps WLS node 01. Sorry, Docker ps. Yeah, we can see this one. Docker ps, we would be able to see that okay, this command is running. Clear. Let's check the Docker logs once again. Yes, we have started the server. The server started in running mode. Woohoo, very good. Let's quickly SSH into the server in case if you wanted to see it. Docker container exec it WLS node 01, and the command I want to execute is bash. Yes, so I have successfully took an SSH into the server. So it's not the typical SSH because container is not like a VM, it's a process. So we would have to use this Docker container command like Docker container exec and it and the node name WLS node name, which is a container name, and we have to say what command we want to execute. So to take a SSH terminal, so I have to say bash. So now I am into the container. I can see most of the commands would not be installed, so we have to stick it to the very minimal command set. Now we have the U01 Oracle. Let's see the mount DFK. You see it, U01 Oracle properties. So this is a mount that we did. Let's go in there, /U01 Oracle properties. We will be able to see our domain.properties file listed here. So here we see our username and password. So now this is not so secure way, but anyways, let's get out once and try to place some other file, touch some files here. Sample file in ops docker oracle WebLogic. This is testing file, and save it. Now we have two files, domain.properties and sample file. Let's go to the container. The command is docker container exec it, the container name followed by bash. We logged in SSH to the server. Now Let's go to U01 Oracle properties and see. You can see the sample file reflecting here. So it is the way that we can share the directories between a container and a host OS. Now, since we have the container running, let's check the status. Yes, the container is running. Let's go ahead and check the console. It is, I'm really excited. Localhost 9001. What is the port number that I should be using? The administration port 9001 slash console. Okay, I would have to use HTTPS because it is administration enabled setting. So proceed to localhost, save, yeah, enter the username and password, WebLogic and WebLogic 1. There we go. It's getting logged in. It's taking a few seconds for the first time logging in. Yeah, we have come inside. So we have successfully started our WebLogic domain with a minimum admin server, and the listen port is 7001. So many people who are maybe seeing this video might get this question, why not 7001? Okay, so let me take a quick configuration overview for you to show what we did exactly, why 9002 or 9001. I mean, the 9002 is the actual port number. So you see here the local administration port override. So there are two different concepts. One is a listen port and is an administration port. When it is an administration port is enabled, all the administration calls and everything, even the console, everything will be loaded from this administration port only. So we have enabled this administration port feature in WebLogic. So we can access the console and all other administration related configurations, including the T3 URL. Everything would be 9001 for in terms of host OS. When it comes to the base container, it would be 9002. So if anybody is asking for the administration URL, it is like this: T3 localhost 9002 if it is in container, 9001 is in the host OS. Yeah, so now we have that admin server. Let me go and quickly create a manage server for you. So let me okay, first before creating an server, I think it's a good practice. Let me go to missions and create a new mission. I am just gonna name this mission as WLS Node 01 and the mission OS is Unix. Next, and it's not SSL. I want a plain connection. The listen address is localhost 5556. Yes, fine. Finish, and yeah, we have the mission now, and we are going to check the node manager status. Okay, let's go to monitoring. We'll see this is inactive because the node manager has never been started in this box, so we would have to manually start it. So we will see how to do it in seconds. Now let's go and configure the manage server. Say new. Now WLS node 0. Sorry. Let us say managed server 1, and the server listen address is gonna be localhost, and the server listen port I would want to put it like 18001. And no, yes, I'm not gonna use it as a vertical clustering. Our horizontal clustering is a little tough, which is not covered in this video, so I'm not gonna cover the cluster also. So localhost 188 server listen port is 18001. Let's go next, and let me finish. Before I start the server, since I said that we have an administration concept enabled, I should go and define a new administration port for this, which is, I'm just giving a next available port in the 900 segment, so I'm just giving 9003. So save it. Now activating the changes. and let's go to the container here, and we should log into the container. We should SSH into the container. Now let's start the container. So let's go to U01 Oracle, and here user projects, domains, base domain, bin. Now I should be changing the node manager settings to start. Okay, let's quickly see the node manager properties. Give me a minute. Base domain, node manager. I'm at base domain / node manager. For 12c, I hope you know that, okay, per domain based node manager, we have that concept, not like WLS11g. So let us quickly see what is there in the node manager properties, whether the secure listener is disabled, otherwise we will get exceptions. So what I was looking for is secure listener true. I would actually have to change it to secure listener equal to false, otherwise we would be prompted for the certificate and everything, which is something that I don't really need now. So since not so many tools like VIs or Nano available in this container, I don't want to waste the time, so I'm quickly gonna do a trick with shed. Let's do this. Shed I yes, I want to put secure listener equal to true to secure listener to false. I'm just gonna say false, and I'm gonna say I, and I should mention the file name, node manager dot properties. Yes, it's done. So let's grep it. I don't know whether grep is there. Okay, great, grep is there. Grep I secure listener node manager dot properties. Okay, we have changed it. Secure listener equal to false now. Maybe I will open it in the big cat. Let's see this. Secure listener is equal to false. Now we are all set. Let's go ahead and try to start the node manager. We'll start from the terminal itself. Here, start node manager. Okay, let me start this node manager in the background, otherwise I would be not able to take the control. I would have to leave a terminal. Start node manager. Let's redirect this output, or maybe I would let me go with the well-known NoApp start manager, and I am gonna capture this log into node manager.log and redirecting the std to std in. Yeah, I think that I have. Okay, sorry, I just forgot to give the command which will send to background. So now we have the node manager running in the background. Node manager.log. You see it? The socket listener has started on port number 5556. Okay, let's go to the console and go to the missions and check the node manager status. If the node manager status is active, we are all good. It's reachable. Great. So which means it is active. Now let's start the node manage server that we have created. First we have to associate this manage server to the mission. So here there is a mission. In the drop down, select WLS node 01 and save it and activate the changes. Go back to servers and go to control, start the manage server 1. Now the manage server 1 is starting, so let's see how long it takes. Maybe we can conveniently try from the back. Let's go to Docker container exec. Okay, am I inside the container or not? Okay, Docker container list, it's there, and okay, not F78 wlisten hit the container once again, and let's go to user projects, domains, base domain, servers, manage the server 1/logs, tailf manage server 1.log. Okay, is it started? I think it is started. Starting still. Okay, yeah, you see this, the manage server is started. So we have started doing the very basic steps, like we have successfully did this steps and created an Oracle container, Oracle WebLogic container using Docker, and we have successfully start our base domain, and we have created the managed server. We have started the node manager, and we did a simple and easy setup. This could be your first how to say reference, and if you are learning, I think this would get you go, and you can just still learn. And good luck. Thank you. And one more thing, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.